Are they good? See, the reason Jacob chose Lacey, because Lacey is she's awesome. And she's also better looking than I am, so just to let that one go, that one's, there's a whole nother reason behind that. My subject for tonight is an integrity. And I feel like our culture, our world today, has a really skewed view of what integrity means. And it's a crucial part to our lives. So that's really what I want to talk to you guys about tonight. But before we do anything, before my heart comes out of my chest, before you guys start laughing at the really, really bad jokes, let's go ahead and pray. So if you can bow your heads. God, I don't know why you allowed me to come up here with my shaky voice and my somewhat of a sermon, but I thank you for letting me come up here. Thanks for bringing everyone together. Thank you for bringing to my attention this crucial topic that applies to my life more than most. But I pray that you would speak to each and every person in here, and that you would be up here and that I wouldn't, and that we would all be attentive and that we would learn something. In your name, amen. So the main topic is integrity. And let me read to you guys what the Webster's Dictionary definition of integrity is. The quality of being honest and fair, the state of being complete or whole. So that's what the world says integrity is. Would most of you agree with that? Yeah, sort of. All right. Well, let me tell you what God says integrity is. Micah 6:8. Know, O people, the Lord has told you what is good, and this is what he requires of you: to do what is right, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. That's what God says integrity is. And so I've got 3 points that I'm going to be going over tonight. There we go. Integrity through your commitments, integrity to your friends, and ultimately integrity before God. But let me break the ice with the story. So a guy is applying for a job. He's a lawyer. And he shows up to the firm, walks into the employer's office, and he's like, I'm here to apply for a job. And the employer looks him right in the eye, and he's like, sit down. Number one, we value integrity in this company. Did you wipe your shoes on the mat? The guy looks, stares at his feet for a second. He's like, yes, sir, completely. And the employer looks at him again and says, number two, we value honesty. There was no mat. Oh, burn. Got him. No. But some of you may know me. I'm up here banging on drums. But I'm also a part of fighting. At school, I used to be a part of drumline. Woot, woot, go Lambert. Hook 'em. I used to be on the lacrosse team. I've got groups of friends all over. I'm really separated. I'm really into different groups, and that'll come in later. But let's go ahead and look at the first point. Let's look at the story of Esther. And so if you guys need any help, it's in the book of Esther. So if you guys want to turn there, flip there, click there, whatever you guys want to do. But let me give you the background. So it's King Xerxes is the main guy. And just so you guys make the connection, King Xerxes is the same king that 2 years before he even meets Esther, battles and defeats the Spartans at the Battle of Thermopylae. And I never made that connection until now. So just cool fact. I mean, this is the same guy that you see in the movie 300. I mean, crazy chains all over, and he's really weird looking. But, you know, he's like a really powerful guy, but I didn't make that connection until I started looking into this topic. But anyways, after the Battle of Thermopylae happened, after all that stuff went down, he decided to celebrate. For 180 days, he decided to celebrate. And then, after the 180-day celebration, he had a 7-day feast where there was no drinking, ages, requirements, nothing. Everyone was drinking, having a good time, 7 days straight. At the end of that 7th day, the king's got all his friends in, and he's like, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you, since I'm so awesome, how awesome my queen is. So he brings in his queen Vashti. Well, actually, he tells his servants to bring her in. But here's what she says. She says, no, I don't want to. You're drunk. You're in front of your friends. I don't need to be in front of that. No. And King Xerxes kind of loses it. He kind of goes crazy. He's like, excuse me? And so he banishes her. And he, in fact, he even tells all his leaders, banish your wives. If they don't respect you, get rid of them. The main thing is for your wife to respect you and to be under you. That was his main thing. So all his leaders did what he said. Most powerful guy practically in the world at that point. But that's what happened. So then we meet Esther. Esther, awesome person. But she has to keep the secret when she's going to meet King Xerxes that she's an Israelite, that she's Jewish. And she promises her cousin Mordecai, who after Esther lost her parents, Esther came to live with Mordecai. Mordecai was her cousin. And Mordecai took her in as his own daughter. And that was just awesome of Mordecai. And they both got Esther ready to meet the king because she wanted to be queen after the king was looking for another one after he got rid of Queen Vashti. But let me take a moment to let all the girls in on something. All y'all say that Axe is bad, that Old Spice gets annoying because we like spray it on and just lather ourselves in it. Listen to this. Queen Esther, she took 6 months and soaked in oils and perfumes. 6. That 6 months. And then another 6 months with what was it? Makeup and perfumes and more lovely powders and stuff. So a whole year of soaking in good smelling things. So next time y'all see an Axe commercial, be like, they might be onto something. Just kidding. But let me skip to the point of this topic. Integrity through your commitments. See, when Esther became queen, she struggled with something huge, and that was Haman, the second guy in charge of the entire kingdom, asked, even pleaded with the king, and he was like, all right, I need you to kill all the Jews because they won't bow down before me. They'd rather bow down to God. And the king's like, all right, fine. I mean, whatever you need to do because you're the second guy in charge. And Mordecai pleads with Esther, be strong. Tell the king that you're an Israelite. Tell the king to save us. And you're our only hope. And so what Esther did is she fasted for 3 days with all of her friends and family. And she finally got the courage to tell King Xerxes that she was an Israelite. And she eventually saved her people. So integrity through commitments. Second, integrity to your friends. And the story of David and Jonathan is a great example. David was an awesome servant to King Saul. Defeated Goliath, if you remember. But he played the harp in the king's court. And when the people actually became to like David more, Saul was not happy because David was anointed after Saul, and Saul lost his favor with God. So he knew that his time was coming. So David is, well, to be plain, Saul tries to kill David 3 times. Each time throwing a spear at him, misses. Shows Saul that God is with David even more. But Jonathan does something that a lot of us wouldn't do. He went behind his father's back because he knew that God had a plan for David. He knew that God had anointed David to be king, that Saul had no business being on the throne. And so he did what any good friend would do. He tried to make peace between his dad and his friend. And David goes, I don't know what I did. And so Jonathan makes a promise to David. Jonathan says, no matter what, I will risk my life and I will figure out what's making Saul mad, what's making my father have disfavor with you. And so Jonathan, amazing bravery, sits down at dinner with Saul. And he asks him, why are you mad at David? He didn't do anything. He's been playing his harp, not causing any harm. And Saul, out of nowhere, calls him the son of a prostitute, throws a spear at him, and he's like, never speak to David again, and kill him. Okay, so Jonathan now has a choice. He's either going to listen to his friend that he knows is appointed by God to be king, or obey his father and kill his best friend. He keeps his promise to David, helps him out, tells him that his father is trying to kill him and that he will not stop until he's dead. David listens, and he runs. He takes 1,000 men with him, the 1,000 men that Saul gave him, and ran into the wilderness and hides from him. But Jonathan, here's the point. Jonathan risks his own life, gets abandoned by his father just for the sake of protecting his best friend that he knows is appointed by God. So integrity to your friends. And finally, integrity before God. And don't miss this point. This is the most important point. If you've zoned out for everything so far, focus on this one point. Have integrity before God. Because this carries out to the other 2 points. If you have integrity before God, you will be filled with the Spirit, and you will be able to have integrity with your friends and integrity through your promises in all your facets of life. So let's go over to Job real quick. Turn over there. Voice is getting really dry, so but it's all good. But Job, wealthiest guy in the area, 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 7 sons, 3 daughters, and a whole bunch of servants, okay? This guy is stacked, okay? This guy wants for nothing, but the whole reason that he wants for nothing is because he's faithful to God. Through his sons and daughters, if they messed up, he would throw a feast and sacrifice for that one child because he cared so much that his children knew God. But Satan comes onto the scene, and he doesn't like it. He doesn't like that Job has been honest, that Job has been faithful to God. And so Satan's like, well, Job is so awesome, yes, but you've given him so much. So why don't you take some of it away and see what happens? So God's like, all right, you can take away all that he has, but don't touch him. You touch him, the deal's off. Toast. But Satan's like, all right, I won't touch him, but I'm taking everything else. So he sends a storm, hits the house, toasts all his kids. His kid's gone, dead. You are the man. Okay, woo! All right. Don't lose a point, though. Kills all his kids. Satan also sends in robbers and thieves and takes all his sheep, takes all his camels, takes all his donkeys, oxen, everything. Takes it all. So Job is sitting there with his wife, with a few servants that came and told him what happened. And he's thinking, oh no, wait. Here's what he does. He does something that nobody would think. He's lost everything, and yet Job drops to his knees and he's like, you've given me these things, you've taken away these things, what am I to do except worship you? When you've taken everything, even though other people might freak out, might get mad, no, I will stand here on my knees, I will be sitting here weeping and still worship you. Satan's still mad because Job is still loyal to God. So he's like, all right, let's take it a step further. Job is full of integrity still, but if you take away his health, he'll do anything to save his life. So here's what I propose we do. Take away his health and see what happens. And God's like, all right, but don't kill him. So Satan causes Job to fall ill, boils from head to toe. And Job's wife comes up and she's like, you've got to curse his name. He's taken away your kids. He's taken away your possessions. He's even taken away your health to cause you to scrape your skin, shave your head, and sit in a pile of ashes and wonder what's going on. Curse his name and die. But here's what Job says. Another thing, surprise out of nowhere. Job says, why do we only expect good things from God? Do we take his grace for granted? All the time, we get mad at God asking, why did my boyfriend and my girlfriend break up with me? Why are my parents getting divorced? Why did I make a bad grade on a test when I prayed the period before? Hey, it happens. All these things, we get mad at God, little mediocre things, and yet Job, who lost his children, lost his possessions, lost his own health, stays loyal to God and is full of integrity. You want to know how? Because he knew Christ. He was filled with the Spirit, and he was able to say, no matter what happens, I will trust in Christ. Whatever you're going through today, there's only one answer to have integrity, and that's to know Jesus. You might try and find integrity, you might try and find fulfillment in other things and other activities. But let me tell you, there's nothing that will fill you up, that will get you through the day, that will affect your life more than Christ. So I encourage you that if you don't know Christ, to really seek him, because integrity causes people to trust you, to be able to connect with people, to be able to fellowship with one another. And if you can't do that, you're all alone wondering, what is God doing? When God is just sitting there saying, accept me and no fellowship. Thank you.